Hello, we'll start this forecast in North America, where we've got cold air across a large swathe of Canada. That's starting to sink its way further southwards now into northern states of the US. This process continuing over the next few days behind this trailing cold front. And this has been bringing some torrential rain across southern states, falling onto already saturated ground. So flooding has become a real issue. Mississippi has declared a flood emergency. The River Pearl, which runs through Jackson, is at its third highest level on record. And as the system works its way eastwards as we go through Wednesday and Thursday, the potential that we could start to see some snow later on Thursday across the eastern side of the Carolinas. Away from here, essentially across much of the USA and Canada, we're underneath this area of high pressure, but also that colder air starting to dig down. By the time we get to Friday, starting to see temperatures closer to freezing across places like New York. To Africa now, where we're rather concerned about the amount of rainfall across Madagascar. Much more to come over the next 10 days. That's likely to bring severe flooding, landslides, also some heavy rain into Mozambique, across into Botswana and the eastern side of Namibia as well. Speaking of heavy rain, just keeping a close eye on the far north of Australia, particularly through the Gulf of Carpentaria, because this heavy rain here could develop into a tropical cyclone by the time we get to the weekend. But outbreaks of rain just pulling away from the eastern side of Australia, heading down towards New Zealand. Could see further rainfall for a time in Sydney as we go through Friday and Saturday. But let's talk about snow now. We've had some significant snowfall across parts of Norway. This is a mountain pass in the southern half of the country in Norway. You can see the amount of snow that they had. A severe storm, blizzards from the strong winds, and around 50 travellers had to be rescued from this really nasty storm. And there's more to come in the forecast. If we look at the bigger picture, the synoptic chart across Europe, you can see further snow pushing its way across Norway, again with some very strong winds, and yes, more wet weather, more rain across the British Isles. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Also had some very unsettled weather across the eastern side of the Mediterranean, strong winds, heavy rain and some snow over the mountains. That will start to ease away eastwards as we go through Thursday and Friday. But across much of Europe, it is much milder than we expect at this time of the year, particularly across Russia. And just to the northwest of Moscow on Tuesday, we broke a new record, 7.2 Celsius, beating the 6.5 set back in 1989. And it looks like Moscow could see its first meteorological winter where the temperature, the average temperature, is above freezing. Back to the UK. More flood warnings in place, in excess of 150 across the UK, and still a number of severe flood warnings as well. More heavy rain to come in the forecast, particularly across parts of southern Scotland, northern England and Wales. And this frontal system sliding its way south and eastwards as we go through Thursday. That's all from me. Bye-bye.